a little bit more open, and it would be great to make a point to set some time aside.
Great, happy to. Let me know.
So welcome everybody. I'm gonna just kind of jump in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the recording right now, so to have it nice and clear for those who just see the recording.
Hey, Ray, you just
Recording on. Namaste. Welcome to the last Monday night Dharma talk. We've been doing these Monday night, first Monday of the month Dharma talk for, I'm not sure, 6, 7 months now, maybe a little bit more, but we're coming into a new phase of life, a new phase of the Jaguar path, and we're moving our Dharma talks and these meetings to Sunday mornings, sacred Sundays, jumping in to just start our Sundays for those of us who have the Sunday mornings free, to bring our conversation there, especially as we're gearing up for this next round of the Jaguar Path training that starts November 20th. So the first weekend is November 20 and 21 of the year 2021. So we feel it has an auspicious start. Thank you all for all those of you who registered, and we had the original date starting in October. We're going to be offering a workshop on Saturday and Sunday for those of you who saved that weekend, and for those of you who are registered, we're going to see you there. So you will already have the link, or we will send it to you very soon. And we'll have Nina teach on Saturday, and I'm going to be teaching on Sunday. I'm going to talk very little today. And I'm going to just ask, I'm going to talk very little and just a couple of things, and give space for 2 questions, which can give me a little bit more to talk to. And I'm going to say that Nina and I have these ongoing conversations on what is spirituality, what it means to be actually real in life, and how do you meet being spiritual, compassionate? How do you meet being evolving towards enlightenment while you're totally real in your everyday life with friends, being at the supermarket, at the bank, being stuck in traffic? And no, don't laugh. We're visiting San Jose. I'm on the 8th floor of a building, which feels really weird because usually I'm in the jungle with no traffic. The cows are our most traffic. But it's been wonderfully frazzling to be in the traffic and watching. It's like, has all this work taken place inside me, or am I getting frustrated as I used to 20 years ago? The good thing is, yes, I'm not frazzled. I'm feeling frazzled, but I don't let it trigger me. But the essence is, what I'm saying is that we have our conversations and our thoughts and what we write and the programs we create. But I want to hear a question from you guys, because I don't know anymore. It's like I've spent a lot of time with the shamans. This last week, I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you in a big mass email. This last whole week, I will send out the recordings. Nina and I were invited to and created a shamans summit. But we were invited. It wasn't a Jaguar Path. Well, the Jaguar Path, Nina and I presented it. It was created by the people of Humanity Rising. Humanity Rising is a podcast from the University of Ubiquity. Our big news, and I think it's not just ours, it's news for shamanism, is that we worked our curriculum and made it more academic. And you may have heard about it a little bit. Now it is absolutely official. It's on the websites. Everything is a go. It's happening. The Jaguar Path 9-month training is a master's program, a master's degree program for Ubiquity University. We may be tapping into, that's the goal, to more universities. So anyone that has a bachelor's that always wanted to get their master's, have you already done the 9-month training? Let's talk and see how we can talk with Ubiquity to have you get that, or jump in one more year in this 9-month training. So you start anew with that collaboration. I say it's big news not only for us, because for me, and I've had this conversation with several of you, we live, it's like the anthropological study that I am doing, that I'm looking at as a reality check, is that humanity has been, humanity affects humanity. Humanity is like, we make each other's reality. We make each other's reality. And you've heard me many times just tap into the fact that in Europe during the Dark Ages, magic, women, and animals were persecuted. And as women, animals, and magic were persecuted for hundreds of years, I'm not going to talk too much about the politics, but it's not about politics. It's an anthropological study to watch how the Dark Ages came about, and this persecution came about mainly by a collaboration of the church with the government, which was a new idea that came on the scene in the early 1400s, which was initiated by Constantine the Great, who was the emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire. Now, there's a lot of history behind it and facts and how things moved. But I'll just skip to the fact that all of Europe lost its magic. First of all, by losing respect and honor for the feminine, all magic automatically is gone. Automatically, it's out the window. If you don't know how to bow to your mother because she gave you her life, if you don't know how to bow to your wife because she is your life's partner and can perhaps give you children, and maybe that's what you decide, or if you can't bow to your sister, if you can't bow to the feminine, there's something wrong in your perception. And this is big in shamanic work, especially in the Kero tradition that I teach and in some ways come from. So we've lived, and you have the Europeans, you have the Spanish Inquisition, you have this horrible idea of colonialism that becomes, first of all, the power of the church says, humans are the favorite creation of God, which automatically puts animals to a lesser place and forgets about the power of the earth itself, the Mother Earth, the planet that gives us birth. It gives us not only carbon and silicon and all the elements of the clay and the water and the wind that we get to create a body. It also nourishes us. It's like so well done that even all fruits and vegetables, mostly all of them, are just fit in our palm. It's like this is paradise, and it's been given to us. But we live in this place where, again, church and government, and the church side says we. And by we, they meant the white people of Europe. And that extends to the American people that were later the Europeans came. And as the conquistadors now move throughout Central and South America, they wipe out. This is the biggest genocide. It's not known. There is no competition in genocides. All genocides are unfortunate and a shame for the human race. And really unfortunate, my heart goes to all the families of history, and maybe the Jewish people or any people. But the biggest genocide was more than 90 million Incas throughout what we now know as South Mexico, all the way to Argentina, the Caribbean islands, all the way to the South Caribbean. All speaking Quechua language, and Quechua is very similar to Sanskrit, a language that has a high vibration and that is created with, first of all, the idea of the elements and the planet being that. So it's planet-centric, not what happened to the Europeans, anthropocentric, white anthropocentric. So we have this as a fact, and I'm just circle back and say, I'm not whining about this history, but I'm also going to say that I am absolutely proud because I put hard work into this. My whole life is into this, day in, day out, since 2003, and my effort to survive from cancer, to find my identity, to find my karma and my dharma and what I'm supposed to be here to do, to be working with the Keros since 2006 and on, and to be really a part of this prophecy that the condor is now flying with the eagle, to bring this work from the South to the United States. And not only that, but I feel that what we're doing is historic because we're bringing back shamanism to the universities. We're bringing it back to the norm. We're bringing back magic accessible in schools. And of course, with that magic and the direct relation to the divine, of course, it goes without saying, I'll say it, we're bringing back through the teachings, first of all, the respect to the feminine, because all of the Kero work is about Pachamama and about the feminine energy. We're bringing back the understanding that the animals are amazing teachers. We would not be here and we would lack so much without them. And again, that personal understanding of magic. So I feel that we're making history. I feel that we're pushing back, alas, after so many centuries of this really like unacceptable reality that's been enforced by men, to bring back again all this, the love and understanding for the feminine. So, with that said, we feel proud and we feel we're in the beginning again, in a new way for the Jaguar path. Really ready to put in the work and create people that are going to go out there and teach, and through these master's programs, touch teachers that are going to go out to schools, and then from schools to have the next generations. And ubiquity, along with humanity rising, is a movement to train people to what matters, to retrain people to what it means to live on Earth. What does it mean to be a human being and be on this planet? We discommunicated ourselves from nature, and thus we discommunicated ourselves from our own nature. We exchanged the many gods that represented the elements, right? Six in the Greek gods, you see 6 women, 6 men, and it's the god of the wind, of the sea, of the mountains. It's the goddess of fertility, the goddess that brings food to her house. It is all the elements to understand and be in a personal relationship to the elements, right? But they're wiped out from the monotheistic. It's not only Christianity. All the single gods, I think they're called Abrahamistic. After Abraham came, this is like only one God. And I think it's time to return to what is real. I think it's time to return to, it's like, if I can take this piece of earth and hold it, it's real. If I can take the stone, it's real. If I can hold the feather, if I can feel the water in the stream, these are real. And you can't be dogmatic about these things. It's just are what they are. Where in contrary with a single God, you can be dogmatic and say, well, every other God is false, so we're going to create a crusade and make everyone believe in our God. We are at a crossroads. I feel that dark ages and that way of looking at life failed. I mean, it was failing all along because we were all suffering. Men and women were suffering. Women primarily, but also men, because there's so many men, and I'm so happy to see all these guys here today. Thank you for being here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Awesome. It's just like, thank you. Because it's time to honor the feminine, but it's also time to up the healthy, powerful masculine, which is the masculine that stands next to his wife, next to his mother, besides his daughter, his sister, and is there to support every part of her dream, every part of her need, is there to give service, is there to support. And at the end of the day, like my beloved teacher Don Manuel would say, it's like you don't walk only on your left foot, or else you'll be hopping and life is going to be weird. You want the left and the right, the left and the right. So I hope we're in a straight or in a new place where we can realize the beauty of and the importance of the feminine. And as we bring in that realization of how it is, first of all, primary need to respect the feminine in order to have order in mind and a way of correct thinking. It's primary, because if you start out to think and the first thing you've established as correct is that women had a secondary place as they had for so many centuries, then you're already thinking wrong. Every other thought you're going to make is on a wrong foundation by definition. So I feel and I hope that we're in a place where we're all honoring, and especially with this work, which honors the feminine, we'll bring more of that energy. And as we're honoring the feminine, it is men like you guys that are here tonight that are showing the new time, the man that is awesome. He's a king and he serves a goddess. And is a king, meaning a king, when you look in Chinese medicine, is the king is not the top. The king is the man that serves every single person in the kingdom. And that is your wife, your children, the dog, taking care of the plumbing, taking care of the yard, the car, everything. The king is the man who is of full service and is of total zero ego, stepping back. The better I serve my mother, the better I serve even my son or my wife, the better my life is, the better a man I am. And hence the better life I'm actually living, because we all have a purpose. And if I can fulfill my purpose, first of all, as a man, successfully, and that to me is exactly that I've served my mother, I served my father till the end, his last day. I'm serving Nina every day. I'm listening, waiting to see how she's doing. I'm doing everything in my hand to give a great foundation to my son, Jason, who's 19 and trying to figure things out. So if I can do all that, then at the end of the day, the week, the month, then there could be something I say, oh, I would like to do that, and I can go ahead and do that too for my pleasure. But my pleasure and my actual satisfaction in covering reality and being really, being real and being good, is then I will have done all that by the end of the week. First, serve everyone else. Again, including my students and including my teachers. So the more I move into I'm no one but a server, the more I do, the more results I have, and the more I'm rising into the place of both enlightenment as in awareness. Enlightenment, I don't know what enlightenment is, what we all think enlightenment is. Enlightenment is to not be in a dark understanding of anything. So if I can have light in how I act, then I'm really completing life. And we could call it shamanism, we could call it yoga, tai chi, qigong, kung fu, you can call it Ayurveda, you can bring me a list of things, Sufism, Kabbalism, there's like dozens of practices. And I don't know if we could call these belief systems rather practices and disciplines. They're not belief systems. They're practices and disciplines. They're not belief systems because they have zero doctrine. They have zero non-seen force. Nothing of yoga or of shamanism says of something non-seen that we need to believe in. They all say practice warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3, and you will see the results. Practice moving the rattle and turning it open, you will see the results. They say nothing about any other force, God or anything. You are God, we are God. God is expressed through the water that's running, the rattle that's rattling. God is within everything and everyone always. Like Tantra Yoga says, there is no place you can go where God is not. I am sad for all those who lost people due to COVID, for the suffering that's been created and is happening and might be peaking even more. But there's one thing that I feel has been positive. It's just for me, it was a second round when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2003. I took a backpack and left everything, my house, my car, my motorcycle, everything, my last book, my CDs, but my little things that I loved, my pen, whatever it was, everything. And now, second round with COVID, I did the same. I think most of you here, I see we all know each other, and most of you were there when it was happening to Nina and I. We were here for the training, and we never returned because we said, let's wait. And the house is gone, sold, and everything in it is gone. And my only personal, I have zero personal stuff left from a year and a half ago. I mean, besides some shorts and a t-shirt, my yoga pants, and I wasn't really attached to those either. So anything I was kind of attached to is all gone. And I believe that when that happened for me in cancer, while cancer was what took away everything, it was what made me rediscover myself, along with rediscovering ways of healing and finally learning how to be a shaman and how to create a shamanic school. And for me, this was the second time around, and now I've like upgraded, uplifted. I'm like more of a shaman. My power has increased. My knowledge has deepened. I had to let go of everything again. So back to everyone in that suffering, I hope that, because we never let go of what we like. You know, when we drip my coffee from my favorite mug, it's really sweet. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I keep on drinking coffee from my favorite mug, I am in danger of just being the same person. And if I keep on wearing the t-shirt or my yoga mat or that little statue that I have and that little thing, and I keep on doing every day what I'm doing, I will, and this is what we all love to do, or I love to do, is I keep on, there's things I like to do, so I do them again and again and again. So there's a little bit of danger there in not evolving. And there's a lot of fear in letting go of everything, because who am I going to be and how am I going to find things that I like? I knew other things that I never knew of. And that's exactly where it's at. If I don't lose everything, I'm not going to find anything new. I'm not going to really even know that there's something else. Our reality is this. I know pretty much everything. I know what I think about God, the universe, my everyday life. And whatever it is that I do, it's like my yoga or my music or my car or my whatever we all each do, we have like some knowledge on the field, and we keep on repeating that. And hopefully we get better at that a little bit. But overall, if we keep on doing the same thing, we keep on being the same person, and there's zero personal evolution. There's zero evolution. There's zero spiritual evolution. So there's something to be said, and you look at all disciplines from yoga to Kabbalah to Tai Chi, Qigong, the Taoists and the shamans, and all of them say at some point, go to the jungle and stay in there for 10 days. Go up at the tree at 30, 40 feet and stay up the tree for 10 days. And you fall apart because we are what we identify with. And then if you take all that away and you don't have a mirror, it's like my coffee, my car, my bed, even my partner or my books or the people I don't like. Even people we don't like, we use as points of reference of who we are. But all of a sudden I have none of that. Then I need to rediscover, and I need to expand. And I need to see what else there is. And especially there comes the shamanism, there comes all the disciplines of freedom, like yoga and Shaolin, or all the Taoistic practices. There are many, again, in the world. But when I come into that discipline and I let go of everything, I discover a lot in the silence and in the openness of possibility for new things to happen. And one of the essential things that in that newness that happens is a hormonal identity. It's like we never talk about it. People talk about forever about yoga and postures. They talk about spiritual texts, and we're reading the text to understand how we can evolve. We can only evolve if we can change the hormones that run in our body. If the settings in our 7 main glands, the 7 chakras, if those settings change, and if the settings in the 12 main meridians change where they're at, then basically I'm a different person. I can walk by people that knew me for 10 years, that I've changed those 2 settings. I can walk right by them and no one will see me because I'm a different person. I have now, and only now, can say that I've changed who I am, that I've evolved, that I've acquired a new understanding of life itself and a new way of being. Everyone with me? See hands. Yes? Am I making sense? Sometimes it's like, or as Carl Jung says, am I making uncommon sense? Because this is all uncommon sense. So we're celebrating the offering of the Jaguar path in Ubiquity University. We will have up on the website in the next few days. You'll find the recordings of these last 5 days that I was there with the elders on Humanity Rising. Or if you Google Humanity Rising, you'll find it. There's 5 days. Every day I was with a different shaman. You guys know them. They're my teachers for over 16 years. Don Francisco, Juanita, Pascual, and Wilbert. And of course we have more teachers, but these were the guys I could get a hold of this week. I feel we can move, so bring it back. What I'm saying is, like, I'm sorry for the fact that everyone lost reality, but perhaps this is a chance for humanity to reestablish a new reality that's a little bit more real, because the previous one was not real. The previous one was set on a foundation of fear, and this is no, what do you call it, not a political statement. I don't care at all about politics. Politics are a joke, all of it. There's nothing to say. Anthropologically, though, it's interesting to watch that this was a reality that was set really and created by people that were in politics and religion. And those two big forces got together to set an environment of fear, of obedience, and basically profit. This is I'm not talking about any kind of great, what do you call it? What's the word? I'm forgetting the word that we all use. It'll come. I'm here with my son and we speak Greek all day. And when I speak Greek all day, I forget my English. Between Greek and Spanish. So it will come. But the idea is that the reality we lived on was really consumeristic. And it had to do a lot with us paying a mortgage and paying our cars and paying. So we were basically working and giving our money. It's like when it came time to sell my house, I realized the house was never mine. Bank owned it. The bank owned it. It's just like we're sitting here, let's say we're going to buy a house or rent a house. And Nina's like, what's the difference? When did you own the other house? Just because you were paying a lot more, because you were paying double the price? The worth of the car, the house itself, and the bank double? Or it was just an idea, because when we sold it, if we had just rented it, we would have just done the same thing, walk away. So I'm hoping that this whole collapse, I know it's a result of that wrong path we took in the early 1500s. And it came to an end because there was a lie. That credit was a spiritual credit, the belief system, anthropocentric system that humans are the best, and weight and men. And again, I do not wish to, like, I am a white man and I don't mean anything by it. I think there's a lot of great guys right here in front of me. I love you guys. I know most of you for many years right here, right now. And I know how great you are with your families, with your wives, with your job, with everything. But as that collapsed, because it was just about time, really, let's hope and let's work together in a new paradigm. Let's all create this new paradigm with the foundation that it's not anthropocentric, it's geocentric. It has to do with Mother Earth, right? Because we're headed towards trouble. Nothing's happened yet. It's all coming. So let's see what we can shift, and hopefully to prevent more disaster happening in our ecosystem. Eco meaning home in Greek. It's my house, our house, right? And let's build this on the foundation that, first of all, we respect the feminine, because that is a right mind. And that we learn, and that we not only learn because there's so much to learn from the animals, but we also now start working into recreating the habitats and saving the animals, because we're the only species that's created so much damage ever in the history of the planet. And let's hope that we can recreate a future that has magic, that we understand. And those of you who know me know what I mean, that the biggest magic that we have is affection. It's like, I had a magical day. Go out and be in this. Why would it even be called utopian when we all have the space of being affectionate to one another? Say, how are you doing? How are you today? It's all I need to do, like really care and really take a moment. And we all, the moment anyone leans in and says, how are you, Ray? It's just like, I feel immediately like when I was 9, and I feel like, oh, I'm taken care of. And my whole immune system shifts, and the mitochondria begins to move differently, and my endocrine system resets itself. It's awesome how we heal each other. With a friend in chemotherapy now, a friend that was there holding his hand while I was doing chemotherapy said, out of the 20 people sitting there at the church, at the chairs for the chemo with chemicals in their veins, there was only that one friend that was holding someone's hand and someone else. So 2 people only had company in the moment that they're fighting cancer. There was 18 people that were sitting there alone with a chemical drip in. And those 2 people that have company are the people in the Harvard Medical has done so many studies that have 80% more chances of surviving. Chemo or no chemo, just because the fact that there's someone there saying, I love you and I care. If you're afraid, don't be afraid. I'm here with you. Can I get you some water? Can I hold your hand? What are you feeling? Tell me. And we don't do that for only one reason. We've been scared. With so many people put to the fire, we were scared out of our wits. We were scared out of our affection. We live in a place where every man is for himself, and it's like, who's going to make more money and who's going to make, it's just like silly. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, because when you talk about people like Bezos or people like, what's his name, all the billionaires, it's ludicrous. It's lunacy. It's lunacy. It's just like, because here where I live down the road, all the road that I live in is 10 houses, right? And I am almost ashamed for the abundance I have, and I don't. I mean, I'm not going to compare myself to many people that I know, let alone the Bezoses and the billionaires. It's like, and I've just lost everything. So, but I'm looking and I'm talking, and everyone around me says, pura vida. And we sit, many times we're walking by or riding by with a bike, and they stop and they have a guitar and they give us a beer. And a lot of times they offer us the opened can. And it's kind of like, okay, well, thank you, I don't drink beer. It's COVID, you don't like... But they are sharing abundance, and they're always saying, pura vida, amigo, pura vida, hermano, pura vida, pure life. And they have a tin house. A tin house is like a tin box, and it doesn't have a floor, it's dirt. And they are happy, and they are fulfilled, and they are festive. And here, we are sometimes, and we're worried. And we have more money and more things than they will absolutely ever have in their life. So I feel, and I hope that this is where we're going, this whole collapse of the system that was based on fear, that was based on politics and religion, of holding people hostages from love and holding people hostages from being free and loving, respecting the feminine, and loving and learning from the animals, and diving with as much care and effort as possible to how can I do magic? How much can I learn about maybe some herbs, or how if I hold someone's hand or rattle or bell, can I really help someone? I want to learn more about it. Tell me more about it. I'm not going to put it to the fire. So I think and I feel that we're moving into this new era, that all this lie collapsed because the banks never had any money. It's all printed nothing. And the power is not there. It's just all like feeding us fear. So as this is collapsing, may we give rise to love. May we give rise to humanity in an awesome, beautiful way. With those values, core values of sweetness, core values of effort, of group effort to create ecosystems, to recreate ecosystems, to have that space for others, for other species that live on the planet, who, if I were God, I can name you a dozen other species that would be my favorite species over humans, like the jaguars and the condors, the colorful hummingbirds, the seals, some birds. Like it's like there's so much exotic, and someone says like, there's like eagles that fly at 120 kilometers per hour, and and there's just so many. We're so not nowhere close to the beauty of other animals. But we do have a beauty, you know, if we would continue writing poetry and making music, thanks for the musician friends here tonight, and poets. If we could do that, there's a beauty that humanity has, but again, that's not what we really excelled at. We didn't excel at that. The greedy ones, you know. And we were talking with my son the other day, and we were talking about Sanskrit, and he came up and said, "Dad, do you know what the word war is in Sanskrit?" And I'm sorry, I don't have the word itself, but I'll tell you what it means, and it's called more cows. More cows. War is more cows. If you say more cows, it's like, why on earth would you need more cows if your whole family and your cousins and your distant cousins are already enough? You like have 100 cows. Why would you need more cows? And that is war. If I need more cows, and it essentially describes the greediness, right? More cows. That's war. And I can talk a lot, especially on that, like a history part, because I grew up in Greece, and the news on the TV in Greece and in the European countries is different than the one we had in the United States. So we heard differently the whole story about, you know, what's happening in all those countries. How is Panama American? How is Alaska American? Why is Hawaii American? Why is Puerto Rico American? When did all that happen? What happened in Afghanistan? What happened in Iraq? What's happening now? And it's not political, it's just a phenomenon that it's like, if we take a couple steps back, it would be interesting to say, But with that said, again, the essence is the spirit of each and every one of us, and it doesn't matter if we're American, Greek, Peruvian, Costa Rican. What matters is that we're human and that we have a heart, and that heart is what needs to be heard. That's our soul's Wi-Fi. That's our soul's, satellite dish. May we all lean into our hearts and start listening to each other's hearts and start communicating with that sonar, like dolphins, like whales, like a little bit more evolved than what we've shown, because what we've shown is only Neanderthal. And instead of using a big stick, we're using nuclear power warheads, and there's no difference, absolutely no difference. It's not called evolution. We created technology. With all this UFO stuff happening, a lot of people are saying that we got the technology from all these things that are coming down, and we've learned from them. But essentially, even like Krishnamurti, the great spiritual teacher, said, there is zero evolution from the Neanderthal time. Zero. Humanity as a whole is showing greediness and take. We take. Like, I'll take your food, I'll take your woman, I'll take your cave, I'll just take and take and take. And that, as the shamans, to speak a little Kero love, is there's a lack of love and a lack of feeling the warmth of Mother Earth holding us. And that lack creates a need for fulfillment from something. So I'm going to eat more, I'm going to want more, I'm going to take more. And guess what? That lack is never filled up with anything else than actual love and actual affection and actual patience and actual compassion. Everything else is empty. Bring all the Targets you want in the world and the Walmarts, bring all the Teslas, bring all the Macs and the cell phones, and bring all the cows. You'll never fill up that void. And that is like the Sioux and the Apache rather said, the white man is sick with the illness of not having enough. And again, like, I bow. I am white. I mean no disrespect to anyone. I love all religions. I love Christ. I walk with Christ. I walk with Shiva also. I walk with St. Francis. I walk with Hanuman also. I walk with Shakti, with Mother Mary, with Magdalene. I walk with these people, both the mythological ones and the ones that walked on the earth in human form, as great examples of how to be in any moment. And I hope, and I keep on studying, and I keep on learning, keep on reading the I Ching daily, 20 plus years now, 25 years. So when someone says something to me or throws something to me, I'm hopefully responding from the Tao, from the way of things, right? From the greater picture of what actually is, right? I'm responding from the Bhagavad Gita. I'm responding like Hanuman. How can I help you? Rather than responding from a deprived of love white person that grew in Europe, where the essence of philosophy and the essence, rather, or not philosophy, to try to be correct with my words, the essence of politics is greediness, right? That's all of my reality, all the reality that we've known. Europe and America have like all the money of the world, and yet we need more, and yet we need more. And where the richness lies in all the cultures and everything that we could have learned by saying, teach us. We did the opposite. We said, don't believe in that, and that will give you a modern edition of what is. And again, those can be philosophical conversations that I find awesome. I love talking about it. It's like, but I also don't need to tap into right now. And I'll pause for a moment, as I thought I was going to talk for 10 minutes, but we've all been here before. Start talking. I want to see if there's one question or one comment anyone wants to share, or a question. Something I could speak to if there's anything that you've been thinking about, wondering, that I just might have something to say from what I'm learning from my teachers and from living a lot in out-of-body experiences and deep meditation and ayahuasca.
Ray, I got a question, I guess, or just like one thing that you touched on was like the masculine type. You know, we got 5 dudes here and we're hanging out. You know, I've been trying to put a lot of thought into saying, okay, I'm trying to create something from the perspective that you're talking about. You know, you're one of my teachers. Of course, we're aligning in the same thoughts, but it's like, you know, how do you invite the masculine and include one, you know, I look at the masculine as part of the problem. I feel like the feminine's working a little bit more diligently on solutions in a sense. So it might be hard for me to phrase this, but trying to get a group, or just even a small group, it doesn't matter if it's 100 people or 10 people, whatever, of everyone's included, but we're going to discuss the masculine and we're going to work on the masculine, but we're not disincluding anybody. Do you know what I mean? Any ideas on something like that?
It's first of all, thank you, and I know you're an awesome man, and I've seen you, and I've had a moment to briefly meet your wife, and it's awesome. She's Greek too, so right choice. Just kidding, but of course, and it's awesome, and your children, and I know you're an awesome family man and a teacher yourself, so, and a healer. There are groups out there. But I feel that perhaps at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, I think it's not a specific question you're asking. There are groups out there. One of the people, then I've shared this with you, and that has been doing a big work on a bigger scale is David Data. So all of you guys, anyone that's interested in learning a little bit more about the masculine energy, David Data has like 6, 7, 8 books out there, and I'm not sure if I don't think he does trainings anymore like he used to, but I trained with him, and it was huge. It opened my understanding of how I think and why I'm thinking, and it really changed my way. But it also comes around to, no matter what we do as groups, what is more important is what you do, what you do, and every one of us here, guys and women, of course, what we do in our families, because that's all we are on this planet. See, we're not really 7 or 8 billion people. We're a family. There's a mother, a father, and 2 children, and 2 grandchildren. Regardless of genders, it could be 2 men, 2 women, whatever. There's a mother, a father, 2 children, 2 grandchildren. If you look at the Tao Te Ching and the I Ching, it talks about that. And if I look and approach life as thus, that's what the truth is we're just many families, but that's it, you know? My family and your family is the same. If I treat my family and I really working on my family and deliver as a man to my family, then, and everyone does the same, and then when I walk out and I see you on the road walking with your wife and kids, and you see me walking with my wife and my kid, it's like we're going to be living in a peaceful, awesome planet of service. And I think that's the most important thing. And a lot of times that we don't get, it's like the masculine is like, there is no like and I'm sure you've had the same, all of you, and I know Leo, and I was to speak to Leo and you, which we've talked about this, is like to give the last bite of food to my son Jason. It's always tastes better. I'm looking at me. It's like, eat it. It's like, eat the skin off my chicken. It's the best. You eat it. It's just like whatever it is, or my best vegetable if you're a vegetarian. It's like it's such a deep satisfaction, and that's where it's at. So I think where it all is, John, is that how can I be of service? And one of the things also that is like I'm pushing myself to like see if there's a limit I can push, and where do I have upper limits, and how can I move those away? Is in realizing that for me, that's the work I'm doing. So it may or may not apply to any one of you guys. Is like when I get tired and when I feeling like a little bit whiny or something's not exactly like I want it to be and I wanted something different, that's exactly when I shut up. That's exactly when it doesn't matter. I don't matter. I do not matter. What matters is everyone else in the room, not me. And if I'm whining something, I just should look at what I ate yesterday, if there was some gluten, if I had a little bit of wine, or if there's something like dairy. The sensation in my body that feels like it wants to whine is not why this is happening. There's a source that has to do with biology of what I'm feeling, and I need to look into it because I am a sworn earth keeper. I'm a sworn person that is here to offer service. So the moment I'm like getting needy, then I need to like really turn it to me. It's not what Nina didn't give me or what Jason, my son, or like, although it might feel like it sometimes. It's like, well, you weren't here and I wanted to see, or just shut up, Ray. Shut up, Ray. And the more I do, I see how much happier they are. I give them space. The more space I give my wife, the more space I give my son, the happier they like expand. They expand. And when I look and see, it's like, what is my mission? And I feel I know it. And I just will speak. And for you and Leo and John, is like I feel it because I know we're both in the families. And I'm not speaking to anyone else because I'm not sure. But I think that's where it all is at. Like, how can I be of service? Now, and that's why, if I'm feeling something and I feel I need something, of course, because I'm a teacher, and of course, because I always tend to my needs by going deeper into the practices, and by drinking more water and doing more yoga, by cutting the cord that has been created immediately, by moving as fast as I can and healing something before it festers, and definitely by removing any kind of complaint while everything is falling apart. And it doesn't matter if it was the Audi that I just bought when we were in the States and that's gone, and I was driving the golf cart, the famous golf cart you had seen on video on Zoom, right? It's just like, the golf cart was better than the damn Audi. Who gives it, So David Data does great work, and there are some group of men there. But I feel that if you're a practitioner, and I know that you are, John, it's like go deeper into the practice. Go deeper into service. Go deeper and spend more time of not. I mean, while you need to make sure that your needs are met, so you are in a healthy and balanced place, you're doing that for the sole purpose of being in the best place possible to serve the rest of the family and the rest of your neighborhood. And the more you serve the rest of the family and the rest of the neighborhood, the more complete you are as a being, as a man in the world. This is our work to cut wood, bring water. And a woman can do that too if she wants to, no problem. But I want to make sure I did it. And you all guys know that Nina is more than able to cut wood and bring water. It's not an issue. But I need to do it. I need to make sure. And that fulfills me to the place where that my endocrine identity, I'm not needing any more cows. I'm not needing anything else. And for those of you who jumped in now, we're talking about the Sanskrit word for war is more cows. This is why we have the wars. And because that gap of love and connection to the sweetness of the feminine, to the playfulness of the animals, and to the knowledge that you are connected with the divine, or else you wouldn't be breathing. You are the divine. That gap, that lack that the Spanish Inquisition in the Dark Ages created will never have been fulfilled by billions of cows. If you look at Bezos, he doesn't look happy to me. If you guys are, many of you are shamans already, track him, he's not happy at all. Or Musk, what's his name? the Tesla guy. These people are not happy, nor are they accomplished. St. Francis is accomplished. Mother Teresa is accomplished. Gandhi is accomplished. Hafiz is accomplished. And you die with a smile, saying thank you. At the last moment, thank you. My father was accomplished. He said, I love the universe. With his last breaths, I love the universe. And his work was poetry. Poetry, poetry, poetry. He just taught English, English, English. He never made money. He was accomplished. He was fulfilled. And so let us just feel into this as things are falling apart, rather than focusing on them falling apart. Right? Was it the Chinese or is it Japanese? I'm getting all these teachings confused now. But is the word for disaster is opportunity. It's Chinese, right? So as we have experienced a disaster, let's not be looking at disaster and complain about it, but let's look at this opportunity, be humble, and really put gear in to let's work and rebuild a beautiful place. And the only one way to do is it's like, again, just borrowed from all the teachings. I'm not saying anything new. When that man stopped Mother Teresa in the middle of Calcutta, and he said, can I help you, Mother Teresa? And she said, yeah, you can stand aside. And if you want to help, go home and love your family. So let's all go home and love our families. Let's go home and really love our families. And when we walk out into the world, let's be that love. Let's be that affection. Let's be that stillness. Let's be that zero doctrine. This is one of the new practices that we're doing with Nina, coming from the Tao Te Ching. You need to be in zero doctrine. Zero doctrine, which means I'm feeling totally okay right now. I'm like in my center right now, and it can echo in my voice. It can echo in the way, my stance. It echoes in the way I'm silent when someone else is talking and I'm absolutely listening. It echoes zero doctrine when someone's saying something that's triggering the hell out of me and I'm still in the same place. I do not move from where I'm at. Nor am I saying, oh, this person is wrong and what they're saying is crap. I'm just standing there because everyone can say what they want. Everyone can do what they want. That does not affect me. Like the Buddha said, I have no enemies. And zero doctrine is to stay in that endocrine identity of having a balance or hormonal balance that I'm not feeling threatened, that I'm not feeling angry, that I'm not feeling fear, I'm not feeling anything. I am love. I am love. Zero doctrine, the Tao Te Ching, for those of you I see. Thank you, Amanda, for dropping all this in. We have, what's happening? Amanda is, for those of you who don't know, hi Amanda, thanks for showing up, is a new director, and she is working around the clock. She's been amazing help. Do we have anything new that we're supposed to put up on link? The Tai Chi is starting every Thursday, 6 weeks of Tai Chi. 6 Thursdays with the amazing Nina. The amazing, sweet Nina. Powerful and sweet. So know that is starting. And I'm going to pause again just for one more quick question. We have 5 minutes. John, thank you for that. Thank you for being the awesome man that you are. Keep on spreading the love and keep on staying in your place. And I know you do that. Every time I see you right there with the guitars behind you, the mandolin, like at the foundation, the basement of the house, holding the house. That's where King is and should be, always. Any other questions? And I did give a lot to men today because I think it's awesome, because in 15 years of Akrupalu, I've met 100 guys. The 5 guys are here today. So thanks for being here. And I've met 75,000 women. And thank you for the women for stepping up and for moving the feminine up and outward and creating this movement so we come back into balance. Any one question that I can answer in a minute? I usually don't do anything in a minute, but I just might.
Yeah, hi Ray.
Hello, how are you? This is La Healing Arts.
Yes,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm well. I'm just wondering, well, the intention for your group tonight, if there is one, because all of the earth and the Mother Nature is really talking quite loudly about what's happening. And
Yeah.
I feel like I joined this because I was directed to, and wondering, or just asking maybe for a prayer or some intention for the earth, for the animals, for the cosmos, and all of these changing times, that we take a moment to recognize.
Thank you for saying that. Let's bring it into a closing meditation around everything we talked about. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's all bring it into a closing meditation for Mother Earth, for the feminine we've talked about, for the animals that we've talked about. May they become our teachers. For the magic, may it return in our hearts. May we find a comfortable position. And as you do, find a comfortable position, close your eyes and bring your attention inward. And notice as you bring your attention inward if you're in an echo of emotions and what that is. Emotions and thoughts. And take a step back from that emotion and from that thought. And then take one more step backwards. And as a meditation dedicated to Mother Earth, our mother that gives life to all of us and all beings on it, our mother that gives nourishment to us and all beings on it, our mother that gives us a home to return our bodies when we leave, and the bodies of all beings returning to it. Allow yourself in honor of that to remain in stillness, because she asks of nothing else. She asks of you, of us, to remain in stillness in acknowledgement of the perfection of everything as is, of no need to change, of no need to fill in. Sitting in stillness, feeling Mother Earth support us where we stand, and noticing that she supports every step we take. Bowing gratitude, and may that be the feeling you live in. Gratitude for everything that Mother Earth has offered, for every moment, and for everything every person that we have met has offered us, every moment. May we live in gratitude. May we echo gratitude outward. May we be the carriers of the light of gratitude. May we live and may we die in gratitude. And ever so gently with your next inhalation, invite your hands to your heart. And bow your chin to your heart. Bow to your heart. Bow to your heart of gratitude. And if you wish to, bow deeper to Mother Earth with all your gratitude. Thank you, Pachamama, for all your gifts. Thank you for holding us so lovingly and for being patient with us. May we awaken to reverse the damage we have done. May we awaken to coexist with all your beautiful creatures that you've created, great and small. Thank you, Mother Earth, for all your nourishment. May we awaken to your magic and become more real. May we return back to the roots. And gently inhale and open your eyes. Horpichai. Namaste and Horpichai. Thank you all for coming. Again, Mondays, or first Monday of the month, are not going to be happening. We're moving into Sundays. Next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. EST will be our first time we meet together for Sunday mornings. Thank you all. Namaste. Horpichai. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Hope you